Hey guys, so I'm gonna show you how I put on my water slides. The camera is right now on a special stand that I made, which makes it kind of annoying because it's right in front of my face. So let's see how good this will be. And it seems like the light might flicker a bit, and that could be because of the LED lights. That doesn't go so well with cameras normally. So here we have a shield, and the thing I wanted to show you was, besides the decals, was also to show how it will look afterwards. Matte coat have been applied because, as you can see, there's a lot of plastic shine here, and we could probably make that disappear completely. And maybe even those swirls down here, you can see. Let's see. Here, got these things going on from the molding forms. So it's nothing you can feel or anything, but you can see it. So let's start. The first thing I normally do is just to wipe off if there's some fingerprints or something on it. And let's see if I can actually make this work, because everything is in the way right in front of me. So if the camera is moving or anything, it's probably because my body is hitting the stand. What I did here was I cut out the decals that I needed, like these ones. And I'm quite sure you can't see the paper here. Let's see if I can get this out of the way. The shield is here. So it says, yeah, sorry for that, it's really bad, which numbers I have. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with applying the yellow ones, which is these ones. And what I'm doing here is, actually, let's move this out of the way. See if I can do it here. Can't even see. I'm gonna cut this off. If I was to make all 4 shields at the same time, I would just not cut them out, but just dip it all in the water. So here we have the first one. So this water should preferably be a bit hot. Now mine is ice cold because the water I prepared was ready, and then the phone rang, and yeah, you know how it is. So I'm gonna leave this for a while. Normally I just put it on the side. Let's put it up here. And then I prepare some other decals, because normally it should be soaked in water for approximately 20 to 30 seconds. Now I use some Mark Setter and Mark Softer, and it's actually not necessary because I didn't do it in the beginning, but because I have it, I'm just using it. Actually, we have the Vallejo softer as well, and what that does is primarily to soften the decal on round objects and stuff, or it's just like this, and this is in a completely flat area, so it should be no problem at all. So the location of it, let's see if it's ready, and almost ready. You can see it slides around a bit, fine. Then we can grab it here. But before that, I'm just gonna put some setter on, and I just dip it there. And then I take this one, and see, normally it isn't this complicated because I have to watch the camera and be sure that everything is in focus at the same time, and watch the picture of where it should be placed. It should be placed just around here. And I am not so afraid of destroying my decals, because there was some push them around with cotton bud. I don't care, I just use the tweezer and then I use the cotton bud afterwards. So once it's where you want it to be, you can see there's a lot of liquid underneath it, and we would like for that to be pushed out. So we roll this cotton bud a couple of times, and we squeeze out all the cedar and water. And that's about it. I mean, of course you can see it, but it's not like a sticker, especially not when the matte coat is on. And then I just put some softer on, which should dissolve the edges a bit, but to be honest, I don't see the big difference. I just do it because I have it. It's as simple as that. And the smaller they get, of course, it can be difficult. You can see some of these are, like number 1 here is very tiny. And then we have the big ones that are supposed to be on the shield here on the orange stuff. So it's gonna look something like this. It makes a huge difference, I think. Now this takes a lot of time, and sometimes decaling a kit like this with, how much is it? 122 decals. Normally I use like 50 to 80% of them. But I think personally it makes a huge difference, and it takes almost just as long as to assemble the kit itself. But I mean, it's part of the process, and you can even make the hobby go longer. I mean, it's not like the hobby is cheap or anything. So if you want to, and that's it's coming from me as a web shop owner, of course I want you to buy stuff, but if you're low on budget, you can actually make the kit last a lot longer than just straight building it, or put it in a drawer on the shelf and just buy a new one, by decaling it and coating it, and you know, maybe put on some chrome details or some gold details. This one is not gonna have anything, but I'm gonna put on the last 4 decals on this one, and then I'm gonna coat it. I mean, I can, should I just do the rest of it now where I have you? We can do that, it's no problem at all. So we have this one as well. So now it seems stupid that there's wet right here, but that's just because I have to place it here so you guys can see it. Normally I place it out on the side and let it soak there for some while. The EFSF logo, soak it. And we'll leave it here completely soaked. And then we need 122. That is one of these. You really have to be careful not to cut these decals. So have a knife that works. And this is why we have tweezers and cutting mat and a scalpel. So for me, those things are kind of essential for model building. Now we need a 13 and 9, and I didn't cut the numbers out because they were part of this line up here. So 9 is the upper ones and 13 is the lower ones. Away with this one, and this one goes away. And then we just need one of each here. Actually, I think, I'm not quite sure I can do it that fast, but I could coat it while we're talking. The Tamiya matte coat that I have, let me just show you. Flat clear here, actually it dries very fast, but it smells like hell, so I have to do it outside, and it's too cold outside right now, so we'll do it in the door opening and fast, so it doesn't get too cold. Normally you can also let this soak in hot water for a couple of minutes to make it room temperature, and then go outside. It will probably work fine. I'm not quite sure. I mean, I've coated all my kits and I had no issues whatsoever. So I'm just gonna put some Cetteron everywhere where the decals go. So this will be my first one. This will be my my first shield, and I have to make 4 of them. So where I place the decals on this one is where I'm of course supposed to place the decals on the other ones. You have to be kind of careful with them. They are a bit fragile and they can break. Oh. And if you guys see that I don't put something straight, you could probably be right. I mean, I'm not that perfectionist. I try to do it as good as I can, but sometimes things can go wrong or my eyes fail. That's it. This one goes just a bit below logo like that. And I think there's too much of this Cetteron here because a very small sticker, so I don't need that much. Just remove it there. Pretty annoying that the holder for the iPhone I'm filming on is exactly where the shield is lying, so I can't see if things are in focus or not, but it looks like it. This looks... I have to do this now because I can't see if it's straight. So I'm just rolling it. Looks fine. And be careful not to drag the cotton bud, because then you will push the decal around, and you don't want to push it around once you placed it. So find it satisfying to see the water being pushed out. I hope you can see where this is going. Now we need this one, and the upper one is to be placed here, and the lower one is to be placed on the opposite side, and they should be straight. More or less like that. Actually, this warning sign is to tell something about this opening, so it should probably be a bit closer to that white spot. It's so difficult sometimes. There's too much liquid going on, so when I let go of the decal, it moves by itself. See, there's a tiny arrow in this text that tells something about that round hatch. What would you call it? There can be some residue leftovers from the setter. If it sits too long, then it can leave small patch you need to remove. Something like that. And then we're just gonna put oh, wait a minute. It's because I'm not watching. I can see an error here, like that. Couldn't see it through the camera, but I can see it now when I actually look at it. Now it looks wet, and it is wet because I put setter on it. But as soon as this is dry, I'm gonna coat it. And I might just go over it a couple of times, watching for fingerprints and stuff, because sometimes you can actually see the fingerprints when you're coating, because you know the grease from our hands is not always very good with coats. So, but just to make a comparison, I think it makes a world of difference, the decals. And let me just check if I have something lying around. Give me 2 seconds, guys. I am not known for having greatest patience in the world when I want to show something. So what I'm doing now is I am wiping off excessive fluids. And what I'm going to do now, while you're here, is I'm going to coat it. I'm not going to take the camera with me. I'm just going to take a spray can and coat it. So we take a croco beak. Let's see where we can place it. Oh, there's a handle. And that's it. Give me 2 seconds, guys. Okay. Let's see if I need just another layer once this sets. Ooh, that smells bad. As I said, not the best patience in the world, but here it is. Not quite sure if you can see the difference. I'm not cheating. I can't get the reflective lights off anymore, like on the orange one, only on the decals. And normally lights don't hit like that directly. You would be able to see it. We could probably give it another coating and you wouldn't be able to see it as much, but this is a hell of a difference. And it actually, in my opinion, makes it look coated. And try to see how hard it is to see those swirl marks. So all the imperfections are actually also a lot harder to see. There we got swirl marks on this one down here at the bottom of the orange. We had that here as well. You can just barely see it, but I almost want to bet if I give it another layer of coating, then it would be really hard. So this was just to show you how I put on my decals and coating and what a difference it makes. There was no panel lining on this one. I could have made small panel lines in the round circles here. Looks like a big screw, but I didn't. I hope this was useful, and go give it a try, guys. It really looks great. It's not that hard. Don't be afraid, and you know, it's already dry actually. So check it out. We got the flat coat on the website, TS80, and water slides as well for a lot of the master grades. Unfortunately, we don't have water slides for a lot of HGs or RGs. We have for RGs, but not a lot of HGs. So there you can just buy your own. We have decals that are more generic. You can make your own decals on the kits if you want to. Until next time, guys, happy building.